So this is an interesting job that I've been asked to do. The exterior of this wall, it's very porous. There's a lot of gaps between the cement, and there's bits of cement just about holding on, and there's actually some bricks that have blown slightly in some areas. So basically my customers asked me to do a quick job on it really, and then emulsion it. So I'll show you a few steps going through, but let's just have a quick look over. So at the top there's an old metal lintel, so, and there's gaps all in that, which I'll show you in a bit. I'll get my steps, and then all up the side of the window there's loads of bits of loose plaster. So it needs a really good look over, and I'll show you some of the worst bits and some of the materials I'm going to use. Right, so first off, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a dust sheet down. Dust sheet's down, and I've got my stage in there. It's always best to cover the floor. You know, it takes 5 minutes to clean up rather than brushing stuff around all over the floor. Let's have a quick look. Now, the whole wall needs a good look over to find out where gaps are. You can use, that's an old saw blade, and it'll just show you, you know, how deep things actually go. That's quite deep. You know, it's not just a small surface crack. And then coming on to this is the old lintel. Now we're leaving it in. I'm just going to clean it up and put some metal primer on it. Again, having a look round that, that's a bit of loose there. You can just see that completely. So there you go. So I'm going to clean all that out, remove any loose. It won't take long once I start going. It's only a small wall. I wouldn't really bother with something like that. Use this type of job usually, but because it's only a small area, it's not too bad. Because generally what I'd say would have it rendered, but more expense. This is just a quick cheap job. So what I'll do is I'll show you once I've cleaned a lot of it out, and then the next stage. It's going okay at the minute. I've only been going 10 minutes. You can see how much loose I've taken out. And I mean, it's coming out really easy, so it's not too bad. So I'm just about to start work above the top of the window, but to protect the windowsill and the window, I'm going to cover it up. I'll show you. There you go. It took 5 minutes. It enables me to work faster because I don't have to worry about damaging the window or the sill. Everything's just going to fall off, and your customer will be happy. So it's better to cover everything up if you can. So a couple of hours and I've cleaned it all off. There was definitely a couple of areas where you can tell it's been leaking. So now I'm going to clean up and give it all a coat of PVA, and then put some foam in the deepest areas, just to backfill it, as you can see underneath there, bit of foam. Actually I've got a little bit more cleaning off to do just up here, because you can see that looks nice and sealed. There's a slight gap and the water has been running in round the gap and then just going straight in through the side of the frame. So I've chipped all that back and I'm going to put foam in there. So I've just got this to chip off. And then, like I say, coat of PVA and then some foam. That's what I'm using. And that's the foam. So, clean up first. Ready to give it a coat of diluted PVA. So I'm going to coat the lot. That's the PVA all done, and I'm ready to put some foam in. So I've got my gloves on. Like I say, that's what I'm using. I'll give it a good shake up, and I've got some newspaper to catch any waste that falls off the end. So I'll just give you a quick look. I'm using this in some of the deepest cavities. Let's have a look at that one. You know, they go really far back and all under there. So again, you don't want to put loads in. But it will just help seal it a lot better. Sand and cement is okay, but where this window is, there's a lot of movement, especially with the brick the way it is. It's not good. Right, so I'll show you that when I've finished that. Foam's in, so I'll just wait for that to cure, go and have my dinner, and come back, cut it off, and then I can point the wall where it needs to. Let that dry, and then it's ready for another coat of PVA, and then ready for its paint. So I'll show you some of the filler going on. I've been cutting back the foam, so there's enough gap there for a good ½ inch of cement, but to be honest, on some of it I'm actually going to recreate brick. So when it's emulsioned, you can't really see that lintel, because that's half a brick. So if I cement it right, it'll all look like bricks. But what I was just going to show you was that lintel's rusting a little bit. So I'm going to use some of this Dulux Trade metal shield, zinc phosphate, perfect for that. Dries really quick as well. Bit more foam to cut back, but I'll get this primer on first. That'll be drying while I carry on cutting that off. Right, I'm ready now to start my pointing, and before I do, on some of the worst bits I've got some PVA. I've only slightly diluted that. I want it a bit thicker, so these areas where I'm going to build it up a bit, I can just put a little bit on. before I put the sand and cement in. I'm going to mix some mortar for the wall to do the pointing. So, bucket of water, a spot of PVA, and I mean a spot, sand, cement, a couple of trowels, and my hawk. That's what I'm going to use to mix the sand and cement, because there's not loads to do, so I only need a small amount. Now, when you're measuring your sand and cement, you're better off using something like that to measure the amount of sand and the amount of cement you put in, so every mix you do is exactly the same. And a bit of fairy liquid, because my dad always said spot of fairy liquid in as you're mixing, just helps it come off the trowel better, and it leaves a better finish as you're playing with it. So a little tip. Right, actually, just so you know the mix I'm going to do 3 to 2, so that's 3 sand, 2 cement. That's going to be my mix, quite strong. I've got my sand and cement mixed up right now, so make a little hole in the middle and add some of your water. Now, you don't want to be adding too much water. You want to mix it up slowly, so you don't end up with a mixture that's too thin. So, I'll show you that again in a minute. So, I've been mixing this for a minute. I've added more water, and it's at this stage you just add a little bit of fairy liquid, not too much, and then you just mix that all in. I'll show you that when it's ready. So there you go, I've recreated the brick, and at the minute I'm actually, as you can see, putting a bit of texture in, just like the brick. And I've just got these two to do, so I'll show you. When that's painted, you won't know. It's not bad at all, that. Doing well. All done for the day, so that's when it took the day to clean it all off, foam it, and do all the pointing. Well, most of the pointing anyway. Just have a quick look up there. So, leave it to dry for a couple of days, and then come back, clean it off, another coat of PVA, and then 3 coats of masonry paint. Bit of trim round the window to finish off. But all in all, it's done alright. A few of the bricks that I've filled in. Right, so you can see this when we paint it.